Bless you, Cindy. Get the word out there. Thank you, darling. That blesses you as well. Not only does it bless the people that find it, it blesses you for sharing it. I hope you understand how that works. Especially since we just had a Planet X pass the sun today. We'll be getting into that here in just a few. Too loud here, sorry. Welcome, Uncle. Keep your eyes on this show. You'll be blown away. All right. Howdy, folks. Welcome back. Crazy tornado action we're having now. All right. This was yesterday. We had another event last night that I went into detail about. Okay. So serious about these tornadoes now, and they're popping up in different places than predicted. Okay. So that's what's making them just very volatile. Okay. All right. let's move on. Howdy, folks. Welcome back. I told you I would be back. Thank you all for taking a moment of your precious time to be with this precious family. When you join this precious family, you will understand why I use the term precious. Okay? I got it kind of freeze framed right here. And I'm just going to let your trained eye look around and see if you can locate Planet X. It'd be like the one with the big X on it. All right. And we'll go through this frame by frame, how we got to this frame right here. Okay. Also, before we go, you see it right here. I want to blow this up as big as we can. That's as big as we can get it. I want to get it nice and big and in your face right there, okay? Without the red side. I want you to see that planet with this like X-looking type shape on it, right? Kind of like this image right here. Now, this isn't a real image. This is a rendition. Somebody's painting rendition of Planet X, of how it would possibly have some kind of scar on the surface of it, much like Mars does, or, our Grand Canyon, a surface feature that would resemble an X. Not maybe a full X, but you could, make out either an X, or if you tilt your head to the right, it could be a cross. Okay, so something similar to that. Can you see it? Right here. Alrighty, so Planet X, or this planet here with this little X feature on it here, just interacted with the sun today. Now we're going to back up, start the loop. Whoops, forward please. And let that play for a minute and let you guys take in what's going on there with your trained eye as well before I start pointing stuff out. And then that way you can see, make your own judgment call. That way I'm not like power of suggestion or putting things in your head or whatever. You guys are adults here. We're using your judgment and your perspective, your perception. How can you see stuff or not? All right, so let's get to the opening frame. Ooh, we had Sun Diving Comet coming right in at the bottom there. We'll get to that at the very end. It was at the very end. Okay, so opening frame 024 here. Let me adjust this so we get as much in the screen as possible. That's good enough. All right, let's start marching away. As we go through the day, you see this little spire over here, this area that we've had this little shadow dividing it. We have a little activity coming out of these spire regions. Okay, boom. Here's another little object hiding right here. You see the instrument reacting to it. Please. Okay, it moves out of frame. A little shooting out of the top here. See the spire? And then, boom, here comes the main event. Now look over on the red side here as well. In fact, I'm just going to go zoom on in on that one right there. And pull it over and pull it up. Okay, you can see our dark little planetoid right here with plasma, swirling around it right here. There's something else in the background too, something bigger. All right, so let me get back to plucking away here. Okay, you notice this big widespread, this arch going this way and spreading out way down here. This whole activity right here is one big event. There's a bigger object in there that it's reacting to. You can see almost our black object right about here with the little moon next to it out in front. Okay, it's not a crystal clear image, much like much like this one. Okay, here you can actually see the black spheroid right here and the plasma hitting it, going up and going over the edge of it. Well, it's a very similar event. It's just hiding down here, this quadrant, splashing down here. Its magnetic field is this big. All right, so a bigger object with the smaller little Nibiru or Planet X moon. And this thing's making all kinds of faces and stuff at us. You have to come over here. I'll point out one here in just a minute, but let's continue here. Over here, you can see perfect shape moving out of frame there. I'll move my hand. Okay. Here down below, you can make out our round circular object. Now, let me back up a frame. See it poking out right there? All right, so this next frame right here is where we first encounter this little object appearing. This was Planet X type object right here. And what I need to do is go in tighter, sorry. All the way in. Okay, that way we get nice and big interface, so there's no kind of doubt in it. At this point right here, let me see if I do that. No, let's do this. Let's dim it a little bit. All right, here's our object right here with what appears to be two eyes, a little pug nose, and the mouth again. This same similar kind of face that we captured in the clouds. Watchwoman of the Dragon captured a very similar, like dog face type creature in the clouds in her video. Okay, so our object that had the Planet X feature on it also has some kind of spirit going along with it. Now tilt your head to the left now, and you'll see like the crazed cat, like the one from the ticking clock with the eyes that go left and right. But here's the nose right here, the mouth kind of frowning. You can see whiskers coming out. You can see the ear coming back here. So one eye there, another eye right there, the nose coming right down through the middle, the mouth. Tilt your head, like I said, 45 degrees to your left shoulder. Do you know your right from left? The face is angled at an angle like this, so tilt your head at that angle, and you'll see there is a spiritual spirit that follows along with this planetoid, okay? It's about the best way to describe it. Now, there's another frame. Right there. Now, if you tilt your head to the left, you can still see the cat face. Tilt your head back to the right, you see Planet X, don't you? Multiple dimensions, multiple meanings, multiple faces. Where was the... Okay, and that's 3 frames in a row. I'm not making this up. This is their satellite images that they're putting up. So, tilt your head to the left. Boom. Whoops, right there. And then it moves out of frame with some other weird little feature on it. You're looking at other planetoids that are rotating around our sun, Uncle. I'm answering your question. We're looking at other planetoids that are rotating around our sun. All right, we're not the only planet that rotates around this sun. Okay, if we do, then others can too. We know about Jupiter, we know about Saturn, we know about Mars. Who's to say that there's no other objects out there besides the one they just, taught you in school? The ones they kind of brainwashed you into thinking, oh, this is all there is. Well, take a peek at the satellite and you'll see there's a lot more going on, sir. Okay, and don't you go far because we're going to be looking at a lot more stuff here soon. Okay, now what I want to do, brighten this back up here, bear with me. Okay, so we're brightening back up. We didn't even finish this day yet, so let's back up to where we left off. Here was our event. We're going backwards through time real quick. All right, we left off with our face right here. Yep, you read that article years ago? Well, it's true. They're just, now they kind of notice they're not talking about that article anymore. They kind of covered it all up and they're not really telling you what's going on. They got you all looking at political stuff on the news. They got you face down in your phone. You can't even drive your car without looking at your phone, can you? I know, because I look around, I study people. 95% of the people are on their phone when they're driving. Anyways, we have other activity going on out by our sun, and it induces these solar flares, okay? These objects have a magnetic field themselves. They interact with the magnetic field of the sun, and they tear away plasma when they go with. They're also the reasons we're causing these sunspots. When these things come inbound, they start to roil the magnetic field around the sun, and we get these spikes. You see these spikes coming off? These are like compass needles. They're plasma being pulled off the sun, pointing in the direction of another gravitational body that's tugging on the sun, pulling stuff up this way, pulling stuff that way. All right, and that's how this stuff works. Everybody's looking at the CME instead of what caused it. Well, they have different theories of what caused it. I'm showing you and have been showing you for years what nobody will admit to. There's no other channel, because this sounds crazy. This stuff sounds off the hook crazy, but you're here witnessing it with your own eyes. And I dare you, I double dog dare you to come over to this instrument and look for yourself. Okay, I did not create this image. This is NASA's satellite. These are the images they're relaying to us. I know there's spiritual activity going on in the clouds all over the place, and it's been going on around our sun for the whole time too as well. Anyways, you guys got to see a good face there, Uncle. I'm glad you asked that question because a lot of people are still kind of wondering. So we can answer questions while we go. And what was interesting was how, let me get back in there real quick, nice and tight again. Okay, the X feature that's on it right there. Let me go one more frame where it's actually there, right there, that frame. And this picture, whoops, the other one I had, Lord, please help me back. The other one I had with the Planet X on it. Sorry, my ADHD kicking in a little bit. I'm hopping all over the place tonight. This one, okay? And supposedly maybe some kind of canyon feature or, scar on the surface of a planet that would create, a valley or some kind of X-type feature. From further away, it would create some kind of X-looking type feature on the surface of it. Kind of like that. All right, so there's a lot of these planetoids. It's not just this one. This one right here just happens to have this little feature on it. That's why I called it Planet X, because, well, it looks like it, doesn't it? Can you blame me for either using that as the thumbnail or this one? They look pretty similar, don't they? All right, so there's your activity on the sun today. Now let's get over here to the space, to the solar ham. Okay, dive into our solar report here. Let me zoom in on this real quick for you folks. Thank you for your patience. All right, now scroll up. There we go. There's our GOES X-ray flux for today, and quite a bumpy ride we had. We had this almost X flare right at the transition of the day that we talked about last night, an M9.5. All right, there was a big object captured in that one. Then tapers down, hits the seafloor, and then we have our activity that we saw today. Boom, and then going into tomorrow is another little spike right there. Should we? No, I need to leave that up. We can go back later and take, it's probably not much, just another quick 5 or 6 frames of this little something shooting out the sun. All right. Anyways, we got to continue on because I got a lot to cover. There's GOES X-ray for today. All right. Also, want to get into our indices over here, nice and calm. All right. You see how it comes right back down to the sea floor here? So our main indices are right at the sea floor. It's any kind of activity that rips it away from the sea floor up and then comes right back down. So our indices are nice and low, which is good. Our X flare potential still 10% because we still have 3654 going beta delta now. And now we have another region, 3663 beta gamma. All right, so that potential for X flares is still out there. M flares, of course, is there. We've been having M flares all day. Only still reporting the 9.5. This was another one and a little slight one right there. So we had a couple other little small M flares today. As far as the geomagnetic forecast, they're not calling for any solar wind or any radiation hitting the planet. Okay, so the next 3 days is kind of clear. Over here at our KP index, what we are absorbing or have absorbed was this little mound right here, okay? Anything basically above KP3. So this little chunk right there, we absorbed it down to the planet core, and then we went back down to nothing. Started to build, boom, boom, couple of little spikes right there. All right. And our current auroras right now are pretty healthy. They're not in the yellow or anything. Pop that open real quick. Okay, but you see how wide and bright green. They're not faded. They're very organized and healthy. Okay, they're right at that point where you could start to see a little stripe of yellow possibly going in there. All right, and that stripe of yellow would be up at like KP4, 4.5 to 5. All right. So you see these healthy bands that we have right now, expect on the KP to maybe see another one, up to maybe mid-range 3 or something. We're taking on some right now. This instrument's like 3 hours behind. You see yellow showing up anywhere on the auroras here. You'll see this go up above 4 and turn a little yellow spike. Okay. Hopefully, it's not that bad right now. This is all we're absorbing. As you know, I'm a stickler for absorption. Okay. All right, let's get it on. An eruption just to the south of 3654 began just before 6, registering a long duration sea flare, produced a coronal mass ejection. So far, the bulk of plasma appears to be heading mostly away from Earth. Whew. Another update will be provided later once the tracking model is available. Click here for the movie of the eruption. We already seen the eruption. And look at this frame right here that they grabbed. Has the actual object here surrounded by plasma, and they still don't see it. It's just funny. All right, let's get into this one too. Near X flare, May 1st. 3654 approaching the west limb produced an M9 flare peaking at 2346. That was the change over the daytime right there from one day to the other. The further update will be provided. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so let's open up our tracker. Let's start track-a-lacking. All right, boom, huge, big old blast, wide radius blast, not hitting us, but it, okay, that looks like it's not going to hit us, but you remember last time there was something that wasn't supposed to hit us, and it still sparked a small geomagnetic storm, because in the wake of something this big, still, we're going to get a little brush from it, okay? If you look, it came off this side of the sun right here. It's not totally across the limb yet. You know, if it went off this way, it'd be past the limb. So this is still just catching an angle of it. Possibly. Okay. You see how this wave erupts, and like watch when it gets out to here. You see how it's still trailing back? So we could get a little love tap, you know, a little kiss on the cheek. All right. What's wrong with the kiss on the cheek? No, they don't do that anymore, people. I wanted to take a peek at this one because it looked like they had something different lined up here. I also want to take a look at this impact again here around the 3rd. Is this loading up for us? Yeah, there it goes. All right. Let me just play that really quick. Put it right there is best, I think. All right, here comes your wave coming out, clipping us right there on the 3rd. Well, we're this green line up here, not these two. So our impact is at Earth right up here in between the 3rd and the 4th. So midday the 3rd, we should have some energy striking the Earth. All right. And that energy can enhance our thunderstorms that we're having at the moment on that day. All right. So there's that. Keep this in the back of your head here, the 3rd, midway through the 3rd, when we're doing the weather report, okay? I'll probably forget. I have had so much on my mind lately. It's not fair. I'm just glad it's happening to me and not you. You guys would not be able to handle it. All right. That's old. Let's move on. Okay, we got other stuff to cover here. So, possible Earth-directed CME, a bright CME, might graze Earth on May 4th. Okay, that's that one I was telling you about that they were showing midway on the 3rd. So, midway on the 3rd or 4th. It was launched yesterday by a long-duration C.5.8 class solar flare off the sunspot 3654. Although the flare was relatively weak, it lasted long enough to lift a lot of mass off the sun's atmosphere. Okay, so a lot of mass. There's a lot of plasma going along with that big old shock wave. So a G-class geomagnetic storm is possible if any of it reaches Earth. Okay, here's Comet 12 Pons. Solar wind is a relatively new idea. The first scientists think it may have been Sir Arthur Eddington, who in 1910 suggested that Comet Morehouse might have shaped by some unseen gaseous outflow. Astronomers didn't think much of the suggestion, but it might have been easier. So they're just talking about how a CME can affect a comet tail. All right. And we saw that a couple of weeks back where the tail had a bend in it. It was going straight for a second and had an angle at it. So that was when CME hits it. So more on this article here. Come over here, you guys, if you want to read more about that. We got other fish to fry. Let's get on over to the Schumann now. Oh dear. Let's refresh that. All right, that is refreshed. Okay, as you can see, we've been pumping along nice and smooth. There was a grinding event right here. It wasn't very intense, but we were still grinding. We had a release of pressure. We had big volcano blasts now, okay? We see a little buildup of pressure right there. Another blast relieves it. Now we're seeing another buildup of pressure. And at the very end here, you see the white spike. I don't want to, it's not much to see, but you can just see white spike kind of in this range in the lower frequency. We're starting to experience grinding down at the core shell, the core outer core boundary. The core spins inside the outer core or shell, and that gyro that's spinning inside that metal ball spinning inside of liquid molten lava type structure produces an electromagnetic field that protects the planet. It emits from the ground, goes out into space. That electromagnetic field is generated by a little motor spinning inside the planet. It's like a force field that projects out from that, a magnetic field. And you can see when we get this grinding, that's a sign that that barrier between the boundary between the two, the core and the shell, is starting to grind. All right. And it emits these low frequencies off the face of the earth. They emit from the surface out into space, except they hit the ionosphere and bounce back down and as an echo, like the sound of the whistle bouncing off of a house across the street and coming back. You hear your whistle and then you hear it again a second later. These are echoes that are bouncing off the ionosphere back down, and this instrument detects those echoes. And this is the 7.83 that our magnetic field hums at, all right? It produces a frequency, and that's the Schumann, all right, produced by our core spinning inside the shell. Moving on. Let's get over here to null school, and I want to take a peek at our upper jet streams, still kind of doing this configuration. Pacific Northwest coming in, southern branch, zonal flow right here, still swooping up moisture over here. See this branch getting pulled up into this? Herein lies our problem. This ridge coming over is ripping stuff off of this and pulling it up in there. It's pulling up moisture at nighttime. All right, the sun isn't convecting the clouds at night. It's this moist air colliding with this cold air that's producing nighttime conductivity in our atmosphere. Convection. Not conductivity, but convection, or nighttime convection. That's what I meant to say. Where am I here? Let's go. All right, our lower jet stream real quick. You can see how it still correlates to the upper jet, and then here's the weather down below that is induced by those jet stream flows. Now with this, you can see this dry line goes all the way down into Mexico. All right, so it comes all the way up. We have this wind, this current that's coming off the Gulf, bringing moisture way up here into upper Montana. So you can see that this band of moisture is going to reach all the way up in there. And we got this big area of cold air that's pushing right back behind it. You see this really tight variant right here, this is where the two air masses are colliding, and you see it creates this vorticity where these two air masses collide. And right there, there's probably high probability. Oh, there's Surfer Girl. High probability of tornadoes right now. Okay, just because of the upper wind atmosphere and the conditions. Okay, so there's your storm right now, pulling up moisture all the way up into there. And we'll get to the forecast here a little bit, but that dry line, look at this dry line, how there's an independent one right here. Then there's one right here, and then there's this whole dry line down there. This is a very complex setup that we got going on here with multiple areas for. These are more like air mass boundary collision tornadic events now. Today, the sun actually did a lot of the convecting and brought a lot of this already up to height. So at nighttime, it can just continue to blossom. It's a very dangerous mix that we have going right now. All right, now I want to get back down to, let's go over to our sandstorm first. Okay, this is particles, particulates in the air, sand, dust, well, basically sand. And as you look over here, we have our massive sandstorm still coming off of Africa, blowing out into the Pacific, depositing over onto South America here. And you can see the Andes Mountains run right here. It doesn't make it past them because they're so high, but it's all depositing here in the rainforest, basically. All right, so Africa is migrating over to South America here. Wind currents take it all over the place. We're also seeing sandstorms of their own here in, again, in southern Saudi Arabia, Oman, Yemen area. This thing just cycling around up there. Before, it was bringing sand way up into here. Well, it still is, but it's just not as intense. Okay, so they're still getting sand way up there, but we have a sandstorm here, another one here by the Caspian Sea, and another one going on here at the Gobi Desert. As these objects inbound approach the Earth, their magnetic field interacts with our magnetic field. Oh yeah, we have one too. And it makes these particles, the silica, or, well, sand is mostly silica, which can hold an electric charge. When the sand gets an electric charge, it gets a static type charge, getting almost lighter than air or super light. And then we're having stronger winds now these days. So stronger winds with lighter particles is kicking up sandstorms in the middle of the winter. This thing was there all November, since November of last year. Okay. So there's your sandstorm event going on right there. 2 eyes and nose right there, smiling at you. All right. Let's move on to ocean currents here. We got to check out this surface temperature anomalies here. Let's start off over here by Taiwan, shall we? Oh, good news. Yesterday there was still some yellow in here, but it's really kind of turned to red and orange now. So the pressure in this area, actually this whole island was surrounded with yellow like this not too long ago. And now it's not even orange, it's down to red. Let me pull up the, you see the scale right here, red being less, yellow is moderate, and then white being more intense, okay? So there's your color graph chart as reference. So less pressure in this area, pushing magma or whatever, heating the surface in that area. When we see the color change like that, that's an indicator of a relief of pressure in that area. Okay. Now, as we continue on, we can look up here at Japan, and they're having what appears to be just an underwater vent effect. There's some vent open down there that's just pumping out super hot water. There's magma that's making the water down there boil instantly. All right. And it's just this huge patch of super hot water that shouldn't be there right now. This is out of season for this area. Now, the currents do kind of run along here, but let me put a current on for you. I want you to take a peek. No, I said currents. There we go. Not the waves. Do you think that this hot water going through all this cold mess here is bringing hot water to this area? You see that the water coming in gets hot, comes back down into cold water, comes out a little warm, gets colder, disappears. Here's our current. All right, that's our main current. All of this is all independent. Oh, dang it. It's a bunch of hot spots on the bottom of the ocean floor there. Sorry, spilled my drink there. Why don't you give yourself a tad more room, Brian? All right. Sorry about that. So you can see we have some hot spots growing underneath the ocean floor there. Let me take the current off real quick. And now we had right here where our biggest volcano is blossoming. Now we have a new area here starting to take over here off the coast of California here. All right. See the little circle almost around it right there? It's like its own little independent region right here that's getting hot off the coast of California here. Okay, and then we got this area. This is the biggest volcano on the planet, Tamumasi right here. And we had an earthquake out this region, odd quake out here not too long ago too. That was an indicator to kind of go look out in this region. And sure enough, here's this huge plume of hot water coming off the bottom of the ocean floor right there. Actually heating the surface that hot. Okay. quick little reference, take you back to your regular surface temperatures, what it's supposed to be like this time of year. Okay, you see your hot waters down here in the southern hemisphere. They just got out of summer, and it's all transitioning up to the middle, the equatorial zones and up towards the northern hemisphere there. But up here in this region, this is all cold water. Okay, so when we flash back to this, you can see that that's not natural. Big problem off the coast of Japan. Big problem. Well, actually, it's venting a lot of heat and a lot of pressure. So as long as it doesn't tear open and get bigger, it's not too bad of a problem. Now we're going to come over here to our SO2. This is your sulfur dioxide coming out of the ground because of the magma down below pushing up to the surface. There's the daytime right there. All right, now you can see how concentrated, organized it is around China here, up into this region here too. Okay, so a lot of pressure, pushing a lot of gas out. The darkness denotes the intensity. And then we come down here, Java, our little relief valve, just pumping away. Lots of SO2 coming out of there, lots of volcanoes and activity that's been coming out of there. We also have Raun that's right out here. It's been pumping a lot, SO2 lately. It's not on there right now, but it had some big blasts there. All right, so a lot of sulfur dioxide coming out of the ground in these regions. Now, we'll come over to America. Let's put ours back to where it goes. All right. And zoom in here. You can see one side's bleeding out. The other side's clearing up. We have a nation divided right there. And it's weird how it kind of goes right down the middle of Texas, right? Boom, straight like that. Right where the eclipse started. And then you look at this band right here where the path went. And you see all these little areas that are blossoming with SO2, okay? And it's perforations in the crust pushing out this gas. Okay, so a lot of SO2. Years back, there were 4 little dots. I mean, look at this mess. There were 4 tiny little dots like this maybe, that were on California. And I think they're right around here or something, 4 little dots of SO2. And like BP Earthwatch or somebody noticed it on the map and pointed it out, and everyone went nuts. Oh my God, it's the big one. It's the sign of the big one. And look at it now, and nobody bats an eye. It's like yawn. Oh, come on to the next instrument. All right. So our pressure pumping along pretty well, and you saw on the Schumann there, that white spike starting to form. So we're maxing out on our pressure. Everybody get ready for bigger volcanoes, bigger magnitude earthquakes. We'll get into that coming next. Did we cover everything there, Lord? No, I don't want to do SO4 tonight. Do it? Seriously? All right, back here at the particulates, this is SO4. This is another sulfate compound. It has 4 oxygen atoms per molecule. This comes out of the ground and is also produced by man. But what we're concerned about is the spreading of it, okay? Because this chemical, SO4, likes to bond with water, which is H2O. And when these 2 chemicals combine, you get a compound called H2SO4, which is known as sulfuric acid. And this is all potential for sulfuric acid in our atmosphere, all right? I told you about particulates in the air, the ashes and stuff like that are adhering to water droplets. Well, this is a particulate. See particulates right here? So water adheres to this particulate and makes acid rain. And white denotes the intensity, and you can see the whole northern hemisphere just covered in SO4. Okay, it's even spread to the southern hemisphere down here. And there once was a region that was exempt of it called Antarctica, but you can see that now SO4 has circumnavigated the planet and is now all the way down to the South Pole. It's always been over the North Pole, but it finally spread and has reached the South Pole now. Okay, so SO4 is a runaway train too. It just gets caught up in these storms. Look, see this big curly Q storm front right here? You're getting hit with a tornado or a storm front of acid rain as well. So a lot of your flooding and a lot of your rain that you wanted to gather is acidic. All right, moving on. Let's get over here to the earthquakes now. Okay. No, our deep region right here, no deep quake for the day or at the moment. We have this one right here. It's a 5.0. It's down at 229, but it's entering the system. It's not on the plate boundary, okay? So it's pressure that's still coming up from down deep that's made it about mid-range up. Well, about a third from the surface, all right? A deep quake would be down 600. This is at 200. So it's not a boundary quake. It's a 5.0 down at 229 there. Here we have a 4.5 down at 97. So a couple of little deeper quakes in this region right here. We didn't have a deep quake today to create surface activity. Instead, we're seeing subtly deep, not too deep, but not at the surface either. Now here's a 5.9 down at 29. What do we do at the 0.9s at this place? Just because they keep doing it themselves. We're looking at about 0.0 here, down at 29. If it was at the surface, it'd be a 6.0. Let's just put it that way. It's a 5.9 down at 29. If it were at the surface, it would have been a little stronger. So I wish there was a secondary thing that we could click on. I'd love to see what NOAA said this was. Anyways, let's move on. We had a 6 there, basically. Down here is a 4.6 down at 172 in this little deep pit region right there. So mid-range 4 there. Notice nothing over here by Java or Sumatra right now, even up to the fulcrum point. So this whole side of the system is quiet all the way up to the Gobi Desert in this fulcrum point. But really quick, let's get this branch done. Right here, we got a 4.7 down at 106. So all of these quakes here, there's no surface quakes. They're all a little bit below the surface there. We have one up here at Taiwan. Now, here's a surface quake. This is a 4.8, maybe a little bit stronger, but at our fulcrum point along the plate boundary, at the fulcrum point here, relieving 4.8 energy at the surface. Look at how quiet the rest of this is. It looks like we're kind of in one of those quake suppression events again, the magnetic grip. And kind of atmospheric compression pushes down on the planet and squeezes the balloon like a pair of hands from the outside. So if you have something that's pushing down in all directions and squeezing down on the planet, it kind of subdues any pressure from coming up from below, and it moderates these quakes and kind of keeps them all similar in size and not right at the surface. It kind of holds them down under just a tad bit. Here's a 4.5 at the surface, though, here in the Gobi Desert, which is good. 4.4 at the surface here. So we're seeing right here release of energy at the surface. 4.5 here in Iran at the surface. And a 4.6, all mid-range 4s right at the surface there. So do you see this different pattern we had? This little eruption of, semi-deep quakes right here, and nothing, and then a surface arc right here. This is like an arc of, an arc of surface quakes right here. Boom, 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 boom. And our system of deep quake or semi-deep quakes. There's a 4.3 at 15, so that's pretty close to the surface here. by Croatia again. So a little spot that keeps repeating here. That's a good. It's okay, but it might be an indicator of a weak spot forming there. If we saw like a big quake and a flurry come out of that, then we would know we have a new weak spot. But for right now, it's just been one here or there. Out here, oh, we covered that one, didn't we? Yeah, 4.6. All right down here, we have seen a 5.0 down at 36, just below the surface there. 5.0 at the surface. So these two are boundary quakes, fulcrum point quakes. See how this is on this little bump right here at the horn right here, kind of? Well, that's a plate boundary and a fulcrum point, kind of. So there's a fulcrum boundary mixed together. This is almost at its fracture zone right here. Actually, there's look at this little V shape right there. All right, so never mind. I thought this was right at the end of it, but a little bit up from there. That one right there. So plate boundary quakes, fulcrum point quakes, relieving energy at the surface. Here in South America, we had a 5.0 or 5.1 at the surface. That's rare. Seeing one that deep or at 10 here in South America. So that's 5 energy relieving at the surface. Back down just below our fulcrum is a 4.3 at 108 and a 4.5 down at 99. Our normal activity venting energy as well. So the planet's doing its job. It's giving doses of energy, relieving them in moderate amounts, nothing too big and disastrous. It seems just by this equal pressure and the way we're seeing with equal magnitudes and stuff, makes me think we kind of have like another little quake suppression event going on, possibly atmospheric pressure event. 3.8 here at the surface, and right on the boundary is a 2.9 at the surface. So a little bit of energy got relieved right there. And as you see, nothing through there. And down here, we had a 2.5. I want the bigger one, please. 4.1 with a tsunami warning. Oh, man, they freak out down here when they get a 4.1. Let's see what this warning, I want to see what their 4.3. See, that's why I click on it. They report 4.1. This is NOAA, okay, 4.3. So sometimes we can take the USGS and bump it up a notch. That's why I do that. Okay, it's not because I'm cheating. It's because, well, maybe they are. I'll let you be the judge of this too, okay? This is fair game. I'm just pointing out what I see. 2.6, that's right at the surface. That's 3.1, another surface quake here in Texas. We all know what's going on out in there. Still activity over here by New York or New Jersey here, 2.6. So that indicates there's still a little weak spot there, but it's doing its job. It's venting energy at a low magnitude, so that's good. We'd rather see that, a flurry of small quakes, than it build up and snap one big one. But just fair warning. Here's Long Island. Here's a bunch of people. Wait. Come back here. I went too big. All right. And there's your weak spot. So we have a weak spot epicenter very close to Long Island right there. And all those people. But right now it's venting energy at a very moderate rate, which is good. I'd rather see that. Okay, I think that's it for our earthquake report. Yeah, just that popped up. Little boundary quake over here, 4.5 at the surface. Yeah, good. So a little energy being relieved there too. Yep, they're just kind of doing their job. We got new little spots, new little holes that are relieving pressure, like little pinpricks in the balloon. A new little hole will relieve more pressure. And when we see bigger volcano blasts, that's more pressure being relieved. So while I'm going to close out some of these other instruments because they eat up a lot on the computer. want to open up our volcano report here. Get that done, and then we can get to the spiritual report. 33 erupting, 20 in warning, 29 in unrest. Are you guys in unrest, or are you resting pretty well? Are you exhausted, or have you caught up on your sleep? All right, already going into May 2nd, Fuego, Shibaluj, Wrong, Nibu, Dracono. All right, Shibaluj. On the Kamchatka, visual satellite observations confirm a new dome growth located on the southwest flank of the volcano. So if we have a new dome growing and we have new pressure coming in, prepare to see that go possibly. Okay, please can I have control, Lord? I want the mouse, please. Please, Lord, can I have control of this? I guess we're still reading then. All right. Following the elevated seismic activity, a new lava dome began to grow on April 26th. All right, there we go. Figure while we're frozen, might as well read it. Make the best of lemons and make lemonade. Ibu, 8,000 feet. Yeah. Okay, Dukono, 8,000 feet. Please, can we have this back, Lord? All right. Ruang, wrong. 8,000 foot blast out of that. 63,000 foot blast yesterday. Okay, yeah. Tofua in the Tonga Islands, volcanic ash advisory now. Unknown OB. Fuego had 1 to 15,000. Nevada del Ruiz on the semi-active list did a semi-active blast to 22,000 feet. Pretty semi-active there. I'm teasing. I'm just being sarcastic. They keep putting this on the semi-active instead of erupting when it's clearly erupting to 22,000 feet. Sangay 20. All right, and that was already in the second. Let's backtrack a little bit into what was today the 1st. May Day, Shivaluj, May Day. On April 30th, up leading to the opening of the Karen area, showing a gas steam column with a height of 2 meters. Now this gas and steam column, pressure down below is pushing out the SO2, which is gas, and any kind of water that's trapped in the crust gets heated and comes out as steam. So not only are we having ash columns, but pressure creates gas and steam columns as well. Okay, and we're seeing that now out of this new Karan area at Shibalush in the Kamchatka. Luatobi, 6,000. Semaru, Old Faithful here, unknown height, probably about 14 or 15 on that one. Might want to get one of those. Here we are, Ruang, 8,000 feet today. Here's that flight level 1 for 63 yesterday. The plume of sulfur dioxide, or SO2, from the recent eruption of the volcano extends over 1,000 kilometers. The Centennial 5P observed the emissions of sulfur dioxide on the 30th of April as they drifted across a vast part of the Celebes Sea and the Borneo Islands. Celebes Sea? Okay. Fuego, 16,000 feet, Nevada del Ruiz again, Sangay 21, Reventador, Sabancaya. All right, here's our list of active ones and semi-active ones. I'm not going to read them. I'm just going to slowly scroll down them, and you can read them. Some of the ones I want to point out. Don't forget about Erebus down in Antarctica. We have one going on in Antarctica. This one, Fernandina, that was semi-new, still on the active list. Gama Llama is one that could possibly hop over. Everybody's been talking about Kilauea now because of the swarming going on there. Don't forget about Krakatau in the Sunda Strait. This is a very dangerous volcano, and it's still currently active. We're all currently erupting right now. Kilauea might jump over there. Here's another one that Konchakna is Kluchevskoy. All right, this one might hop over there. We saw activity spreading in the steam cloud coming out of Konchakna, so we might see that one hopping over. Manao, Mayon. Here's Nevada Del Ruiz. See what I'm saying? It's on this semi-active, and it had a 22,000 foot blast every day. Should be over here, because then they'd have to say 34 instead of 33. Nishoshima, Poas. All right, here we go. Wrong in East Java. Should be over here. We just read it had an 8,000 foot blast, right? I mean, do they think we're not reading the article and paying attention, or what? If you guys did this in class, you would fail, wouldn't you? I mean, wouldn't the teacher give you a dock you on your grade and be like, didn't you just read the article about that out loud to the class? Okay, just making sure. Rekka Hanus over here still going off. Watch out for that. We have an increase in pressure, okay? So there's your volcano report right now. And some of these to watch. Usually, lately it's been an unheard of one that's old, that's new, and it surprises, and boom, just goes fully active. A lot of these that are on this semi-active list went fully active and then petered out. All right, so every once in a while, when we have a new surge of pressure and magma from down below, Etna will blow smoke rings. Cotopaxi might do something. You know what I mean? So it's important to kind of stay up to tabs with this. And also in your region, it wouldn't be a bad idea to locate your closest volcano in case it was the new one on the list. Okay. All that. Now let's get to the forecast. Very, very dangerous weather. Highly volatile. Very unpredictable. Locations don't mean shit. Pardon my French, but it's basically the structure of the storm and how the two air masses are colliding and where they're actually interacting in what kind of fashion that is dictating our weather now. And this is all nighttime activity that we've been seeing lately. What I want to do is go ahead and let all this data load, let that loop play for a second there. And you can see how that big low keeps spinning off these branches of moisture, keep coming up from here, hooking up with the low. Over and over again. Okay, some of this is way out there in the future and will change. But the basic part we want to get is our next, 48 to 72 hours. And then the third, let's remember the third here, okay, because we have the inbound energy that's going to strike us moderately on the third. Nothing too bad. So here we are, our current conditions. The nighttime of May 1st, we still have convection going on down here in Texas, firing up storms at nighttime. They're blossoming out of nowhere. As these two lines converge, there's no sun shining on it, and they're just firing off, and we're still seeing very dangerous weather there. This will be the morning hours tomorrow, all right? You see this compacted area of energy up here with our severe area here. This thing is rotating this way, so that would be the backside of the rotation right here. We could see some activity. And then these trailing storms. This is the dangerous stuff. When these storms blossom up here and then start to reach down this way for moisture, and they trail down, reaching for moisture like that, it gets very, very dangerous. And we see last night we had two different storms that were producing tornadoes start to dance around each other and then join in together as one big tornado that was so big and so fast that it spun off anticyclonic, which is just backward spinning tornadoes on both sides of it. One of the anticyclonic tornadoes actually triggered a PDS warning, which is a potentially dangerous situation. Or, yeah, something like that. Anyways, here's your morning time PDS, potentially dangerous situation already starting in the morning hours. Then as we go into noontime, when the sun hits all this moisture in the air, you see down here the tail end getting very violent anywhere along this line. All right. Anywhere. You see it kind of calm a shape right here and breaking a little tail here, and then something moving away. When these air masses split, another one comes in and fills its place, and where they collide is where our activity has been happening. So right there, that'll be the noontime. There's the end of convection or sundown. Then we go nocturnal. We have nocturnal convection again back here, even into the morning hours of the third. So from this very moment, going into the morning, noon, tomorrow at noon, tomorrow afternoon, sundown, and then nocturnal back in here again. Still residual in the next morning of the third. There's noon, convection, and nighttime again. Look how, oh my God. Are you kidding me? Look how the energy of this has reached back around, pushing this low. Watch this. You see how this stuff forms because of the backside here? See how this is all arched this way? Because of this all, we got a low way down here in Mexico. This will be the nighttime. Let me walk you through that again. Sorry, I'm taking time with this, but it's important. This is the noontime on the third. The nighttime or convection, and then nighttime of the third. These are these trailing ones that come up again right here on nighttime of the third, morning of the fourth. Now you see how it really concentrated as it pushed up and made this little wall supposedly here. That could be dangerous, and that could be a little west or a little east, or it could be a little north. It could happen a little south. So it's very hard to locate this. So everybody in this region right now, it's just very important that you stay alert of your weather all the time. Also over here in Northern California, we're going to see this thing. This looks like a serious storm bringing snow and severe weather to the coast in the morning hours of the 4th. There's the noontime of the 4th, driving into the Central Valley. We might have tornadoes here in California, folks. In the Central Valley, Northern California, Central Valley, you might see a tornado on the 4th around noontime. There's convection. You see how it's twisting around? So right here, especially here, this is the convection out in California. This is going to be blossoming because of the sun hitting this storm as well. So here at convection, this could be serious. Northern California, that's even the Sacramento Valley area. So don't get caught off guard here. You guys might see some tornado action in California on the noon and afternoon of the 4th. Now let's get into the nighttime of the 4th. Here we blossom again with our nighttime convection. There is the nighttime, there's convection, now nighttime. We're blossoming again at nighttime, the morning of the 5th. So several days in a row, we're having nighttime into the morning convection. That'll be the noontime of the 5th, the end of convection the 5th, nighttime, morning of the 6th. Watch out this low. Look at this thing. Noon, convection, nighttime. Wow. Look at that. Perfect setup. Noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 7th. So right around Iowa, maybe Wisconsin, Illinois area, depending on the way this curvature pans out, this will be a very defined dry line back behind it again. And of course, you see how these are arching up this way. This will be drawing moisture up in, and I guarantee you this tail will probably be a lot stronger than what they're showing there on May 6th. I'll go back to the 3rd. All right. I just want to look at the 3rd because this is a day we might see radiation from the sun intensifying. So that's the morning of the 3rd, noon, convection, nighttime. All right, if we get energy bombarding us from the sun during the daytime convection, or during any time during this day, it could possibly take these little regions that you see here and intensify them, as well as this storm coming on shore. Any storm that you see going on around the planet has the uh, chance for intensification on the 3rd when we get this impact from the sun. Okay, and it's not a very big one, it's just a slight impact, but it could enhance these just a tad bit more than what we're seeing on this computer. And we have already seen major enhancements compared to what we're seeing on this already, haven't we? So let's take this seriously. Take it with a grain of salt too, because salt's gonna make you aware. Ooh, that's a bad taste in my mouth right there. I might want to take this seriously. Okay, so that's the 3rd right there where we have added energy. It could bleed into the 4th a little bit too, because it was showing hitting midday, so it could hit at nighttime a little bit maybe, and intensify this storm, or this, especially this out on the coast. Man, that... Everybody watch out right here. I got a feeling about this. If we have bombogenesis hitting this storm right here as it approaches the shore, it's already increasing in strength. If you kick in some bombogenesis to that, that might just be a tornado ripping down the valley, California Valley right there. Wow, that'll be interesting. Okay, so that's like noon the 4th, morning of the 5th. Sorry, that was night of the 4th, morning of 5th. Noon, convection, nighttime. 6, noon, convection, nighttime. 7, noon, convection, nighttime. 8, noon, convection, nighttime. 9, noon, convection, nighttime. 10, noon, convection, nighttime. 11, noon, convection, what? Nighttime. May 11th. Here on the East Coast. Starting here, we got this low right here that's dragging. You see this comma shape right here trying to form? You got this low forming right here in the morning hours of the 11th. It starts to intensify and wrap up right here with severe weather in Pennsylvania down in that region by the noontime of May 11th. All right. Now, this is bound to change a little bit, but this looks like a storm that is coming to that region, and locations may change and everything, but let's just check out the location so far. Here's a 984 low. Uh-oh, wait a second. 984. Oh, I lost my... 979. No, that's a category 1. That's equal to a category 1 right there. So you see this onshore flow right here? This wind's coming this way, so this region could experience some coastal flooding, coastal erosion, with that thing spinning away like that up into Maine. All right, see how it goes up and around like this? So water and wind coming on this side could drive water on land. And that's a 981 low. I think that's almost category 2. What was it, 984? Where'd my list go? Lord, help me. Oh, my God. It's been so brutal today. Let me just stick here, because I got to have this back. I want the speeds. Where did that go? Oh, it's not here. Okay. All right. Well, anyways, we'll just move on. That's getting close to category 2 there. All right. Very serious storm right there. Nor'easter gonna wallop the East Coast right around May 11th. All right. And we'll continue to watch that. There's 978 low right there. By the morning of the 12th, severe weather up in Maine again. That whole series right there from noon, afternoon, evening, or the nighttime, morning of the 12th, noon, convection, nighttime, down here a little bit, morning of the 13th, noon, convection, and up in here, nighttime, morning of the 14th, noon, convection, nighttime, 15. That's the morning of the 15th right there, you guys. So nighttime convection in Texas back here, morning convection 15, noon, convection, nighttime 16, noon, convection, nighttime 17, noon, convection, nighttime. All right, that was it. So this next 48 hours right here, this storm right here, everybody be on your toes. Be weather aware. Learn to read your skies. In case the weatherman goes down, you can look out your window. Know what a wall cloud looks like. Understand how circulation, if you see clouds starting to spin and rotate above your head, that's not a, it's serious. It's nothing to laugh at. It's not just a little pretty clouds dancing. That means some vortex is forming over your head. So you got to look for, inflow and your cauliflower type structures forming in the afternoon. If you see big cauliflower boiling in the sky all day, and then into the afternoon, you better monitor what direction and what's going on in that area, because at any moment it might ignite and blossom into something. Okay. We have very volatile conditions right now, and the air is very unstable. This setup that we have where we're drawing air, moist, warm air, with cold coming down, we're just colliding over and over and over again. We're having these air mass collision, tornado-induced nighttime tornadoes that are just, unfortunately, they're very, very scary. All right, so there's your weather report there. Now, I want to move on to this. Hopefully, you guys visit this site occasionally. This is World of Signs. Okay, let me go up here real quick. World of Signs. Come over here, give them a like, subscribe. They do a wonderful job. They do some openings and stuff. Very beautiful shots over here in the community page. See the community right there? You could scroll this thing for an hour. See the two eyes and the smiley face right there, and he's wearing a little hat. Here comes Santa Claus. Here comes Santa Claus. All right. Now, this is a very interesting capture. Not your normal sun halo, is it? It's wait, you know what? I want to do it like that. And then maybe we'll tone it down this way. There we go, because it's a little bright for my camera. Now, something different going on in this picture here. I want you to take a long, close look at this. And, does this shape right here look familiar? Kind of like the shape we saw on the weather map? The wave, the bulge? There is an object here in between the sun and the cameraman. It's bending light and refocusing it on the back side of this object, making it appear see-through. Okay? This is being done on purpose to show you that this sun halo is not normal. Also, bending light, okay? Sometimes we see multiple arches and stuff coming off of this, right? Now we have something different. I want you guys to pay Pay attention and look closely there. Look at the roof of that house. Look at the telephone lines over here to the left. Well, wait a second. That is hitting the house. And this is coming down. These are curtains of water right here, okay? They're curtains of water that are being illuminated by the sun, okay? So they're rainbow effect. And these curtains actually rain in just one little spot. You ever seen that on TV or on YouTube where it's just raining in one spot and not anywhere else? Well, when these interfere with the atmosphere, they come in, they're either the cloaking device or the magnetic field, whatever, I believe some kind of magnetic field interacts with the moisture in the air, causes condensation on said object. Okay. The object is bending light. It's condensation building up on it, and then the condensation runs off the sides of it. This isn't our actual object. Our object is in here somewhere. It's bending the light, creating this effect, okay? It's probably like right in here somewhere, all right? And the water that's running, the condensation that's running off of this object is dripping down in the form of these curtains of water. And they go in front of the power lines, and they go and they land on the roof of the house. You can see the backside of the roof right there, and you can see that this is landing on the house. Now, everybody's like, oh, CGI, that's fake, that's fake. What they don't understand what's going on. Take a long, close look at that, you guys. Okay, this sun halo, it's not in the center. It's not perfectly round. We're not seeing our 22-degree arc halo. This is way off to the corner down here. It's pulled way down to the side. This object isn't symmetrically round. Or this image right here. And this is a similar shape to the gravity lift of the bulge we saw when these objects interact. And you gotta read the comments over here. Everybody's like, that looks like a giant bleep bleep. But you can see the halo in the background here. Here's your regular sun halo going right like this down here. Let me pull up a little bit. Right through there is your regular sun halo. So the sun is producing a regular sun halo. This is one inside of a regular sun halo. This is a double halo, and this one's way off center, not even symmetrical, and it's obviously has water, is causing water to cascade off of it and drip down in these curtains, these cascading curtains of water. Could only be from condensation on an object. Amazing, amazing stuff that's going on in our skies. This is why I said, look up. You will see stuff that is not normal. These are signs that things are different. Beautiful. This is like Jabba the Hutt here with one eye. Here's his nose. Here's his squinty little mouth. Wearing a crown. Some kind of entity here wearing a crown. All kinds of stuff going on in your clouds, you guys. It's just obscene. For Watchwoman, now that she's capturing so much stuff, and I've been watching your videos, honey, I can't even begin to tell you where to stop and look and freeze and frame. There is so much going on in your videos. What I was going to say is, how does it feel to be watched? all the time from the sky. It's just the oddest feeling. Everywhere you go, there's all these faces in the sky watching what you're doing. Crazy, crazy stuff. And I know she can attest to it because she's seeing that stuff happening in her videos as well. So come on over here to this place, give them some love. All right, World of Signs. Now I want to get back over here to no, that's not it. Over here, my bad. We can use this as a pull up an image while we're here. I want to do some reading too. Yeah, yours too, Hopkinson. I know your time lapse ones. They're the faces just bubble up and go by so fast. It's like I want to stop and slow it down and go frame by frame, but it's just I don't have time. I'm running out of time. There is not enough time in the day for me. All right, this is not what I was looking for. I wanted to get over here. There are not enough hours in the day. I could get so much done. All right, we got to pull this one up every time because of the significance of it. Oh wait, I already had that one pulled up somewhere else. Let's get a different one pulled up here. Get some images to read to. And this is all old footage. This is years and years ago. I've been doing this for a long time. Ever since September 10th of 2017 when my life changed upside down, inside out. What am I doing again, dude? Please focus. And I've told you guys what's happened to me several times. I've laid it out in dot-to-dot fashion for some of you to make it easier to grasp what's going on and what happened. And wait. Let's just ponder right about there. All right. That image of Jesus pulling open his shirt. If you're still here, Doc, and you haven't seen this image yet, here's Jesus wearing some sunglasses, pulling open his shirt and exposing his heart. His heart's radiating out these waves, making a face in the clouds, okay? My face. And kind of disturbing when you see your own face being made in the clouds. It's like, what the heck is going on here, you know? So there's that image. And then also, I would like to get rid of the volcano page, get rid of the music. We got that one. We got this one. Oh, we can get, what can that one be? We'll get rid of that one. And this, the earthquake report. Sorry, we're getting there. I got to pull all these images up for our reading tonight. So while we're doing this, go get your drink, go get your snacks, do whatever, get settled into position, do your thing that you do. Some people go out in their cars. Some people listening to this, afterwards on the replay, driving to work, all kinds of different ways. So I got these two images pulled up. What was the other one I wanted to learn? Oh, yeah, that one. In fact, we're going to go over this one just real quick, like we always do here. Sometimes we got to repeat these things. So, audio, please.
Let's see if I can get a better picture. I know the moon like it's supposed to. Is my hand in front of the thing or something? Camera. February 28th, 29th, 28th, 29th, I have gotten me a better quality camera to catch this thing in the sky. And holy moly, I am scared. I'm scared, but I'm not going to trip because I've been catching this thing for a while now.
Been catching this thing for a while now.
There he is. There he is. There he is. There he is. It's a huge face.
What is that?
Looking right down on us.
It's a huge face, James.
Zoom in a little bit brighter. There he is. There's the moon. Oh, I lost it. There it is. Let's see if I can get a better picture. I know the moon like it's supposed to. Is my hand in front of the thing or something?
Okay, it's important you understand this isn't in the clouds. This is out by the moon.
There it is.
The moon is actually illuminating the forehead and the side
Yep,
of the face.
There it is. There it is.
What is that?
Camera makes it so clear.
There it is. It is February.
Okay, so we
28th.
got several
Okay,
people.
so there's that video. I wanted to do this real quick. Pull up the actual image locked on.
Might tell us that this is.
There we go. There's Mr. MBB doing a zoom in, close up, well defined image of my face out by the moon. All right. It's already been crazy enough seeing my face in the clouds. Now, here's my face out by the moon, being illuminated by the moon. Because of who I am. All right. So, let's start right there. Let me get my notes. And I got some stuff to repeat a little bit, but it's still important. Every single word is always important, so it doesn't matter if we repeat it, it always pertains. Okay, so, so that's why we pulled up this one right here. Okay, I want you to see that image of Jesus right there, pulling open his shirt. Don't worry about my face over here. That can be all blurred out. I might be looking anyway. I want you to see that beautiful image of our Savior and his heart. Guy's got a big heart, man. Okay, so everybody take a couple of deep breaths. Take another deep breath. Hold it for a second. Let it out slowly. And let my love seep into the inner recesses of your being. Do not close off any part of yourself from me. I know you inside and out, so do not try to present a cleaned up self to me. Wounds that you shut away from the light of my love will fester and become wormy. Secret sins that you hide from me can split off and develop lives of their own, controlling you without you realizing it. So open yourself fully to my transforming presence. Let my brilliant love light search out and destroy your hidden fears. This process requires time alone with me, as my love soaks into your innermost being. Enjoy my perfect love, which expels every trace of fear. And let my love seep into the inner recesses of your being. Come to me continually. I am meant to be the center of your consciousness, the anchor of your soul. Okay? You have consciousness. Where did that come from? Where did your consciousness derive from? You're not in the dog. You're not in a cat or a deer or a squirrel. You're a human. Whoa, how did you manage to attain that? All right. So, I am meant to be the center of your consciousness, the anchor of your soul. Your mind will wander from me, but the question is how far will you allow it to wander? Okay? Every day your mind is wandering away from me. I know it is. It's hard to stay focused all the time. I know it is. But the question is, how far do you allow it to wander? Okay? That's up to you. That's under your control. So, an anchor on a short rope lets a boat drift only slightly before the taut line tugs the boat back towards the center. Similarly, as you drift away from me, my spirit within you gives you a tug, prompting you to return to me. Okay? Just like that rope holding that tugboat, at a short leash there. As you drift away, my spirit gives your spirit a little tug. So feel for that prompting. All right. Feel for that little tug, which prompts you to return to me. As you become increasingly attuned to my presence now here with you guys, as you become increasingly attuned to my presence, the length of rope on your soul's anchor is shortened. You wander only a short distance before feeling that inner tug, telling you to return to your true center, which is me. In me. Okay? Your true center is right there. You're looking at it. You want to return to the true center? Look at that image right there. Think of me. Okay? Yeah. As you become increasingly attuned to my presence. Well, how do you do that? How do you become more increasingly attuned to my presence? Well, that's the more you trust me, the more you lay into me, listen to me, look and listen. You'll be increasingly attuned to my presence. Try reaching out and practice some of these techniques I've been telling you about. All right? Read scripture. I mean, all of that. So, it's important that you feel for that prompting, that internal tug, that spiritual tug. You become increasingly attuned to my presence. And then when that happens, you'll feel that distance, when you wander away, you won't wander so far. You'll feel that inner tug really quick, and you'll return right to your center, which is me. Okay. Is that the other one? Yeah, okay. So, now, worship me in the beauty of holiness. Holiness is, we talked about last night, is you're designed for a higher purpose. You're designed for a divine purpose. That's what holiness is. So when you're worshiping me in beauty and holiness, it's not for my ego, all right? It's for you. It helps your mind when you worship me in beauty and holiness. So there's a beauty right there and holiness. That's beauty and holiness as well. Okay. Whoops. When my face is shining upon you, that's beauty and holiness as well. That cloud picture is a lion and Jesus. That was 20, whoops. That's about 20 frames all stacked on top of each other in a flip book. Real images, not a CGI or Photoshopped. That was me holding my camera up to the sky, taking frame after frame after frame, trying not to move my arms and keep as still as possible. Anyways, we're getting back to this. So when you worship me in beauty and holiness, it's for your benefit. It's not to like stroke my ego. I'm a very humble person. So when you worship me in beauty and holiness, I created beauty to declare the existence of my holy being. A magnificent rose is hauntingly glorious sunsets and oceanic splendor. All of these things were meant to proclaim my presence in the world. When you look at these clouds that happened on Easter of 2020, right when we had our election stolen, or right before, you will see beauty in sunsets in the ocean and even in the clouds. I told you, you will see me coming in the clouds. All right. And all these things proclaim my presence in the world. Okay. I'm present with you guys. I'm here. Just my mere presence in this world. Okay. Now, most people rush past these proclamations without giving them a second thought. Some people use beauty, especially feminine loveliness, to sell their products. How precious are my children who are awed by nature's beauty. This opens them up to my holy presence. Even before you knew me personally, you responded to my creation with wonder. You're responding to my creation right here with wonder, aren't you? How precious are my children who are awed by this. Even before you knew me personally, I responded to my creation, even before I knew you knew me personally, sorry, even before you knew me personally, you responded to my creation with wonder. This is a gift. Remember, I give this as a gift. This is a gift, and it carries responsibility with it. Declare my glorious being to the world. The whole earth is full of my radiant beauty, which is my glory. Okay? I want you guys to stop and think about all the stuff that's going on. We got two different tribes over in the Holy Land fighting over whose God is right? They're both wrong. And imagine when they find out, whoops, they both had it wrong. Well, then you wouldn't be able to attack each other. You would have to forgive each other for both being wrong. You really have to realize that God is real, and imagine what's going to happen when everybody finds out that I'm here. Things are going to change. How precious are my children who are awed by this. This is a gift, and it carries responsibility with it. Declare my glorious being to the world. As you're looking at that, trust me in the depths of your being, because it's there that I live in constant communication with you, in constant communion with you. Okay? We are in communion with each other. See this? That's communion. Okay? So trust me. Trust me in the depths of your being. That's the depths of your being, is your heart right there. So trust me in the depths of your being. It is there that I live in constant communion with you. So when you feel flustered and frazzled on the outside, do not get upset with yourself. You are only human, and the swirling events going on around you will sometimes feel overwhelming. Swirling events going on around you. Swirling, like tornadoes swirling, So when you feel flustered and frazzled, don't get upset with yourself. You're only human. The swirling events that are going on around you will sometimes feel overwhelming. Rather than scolding yourself for your humanness, remind yourself that I am both with you and within you, inside of you. So, rather than scolding yourself for your humanness, remind yourself you're divine. You are a divine entity. You belong to me. You're divine. So rather than scolding yourself for your humanness, remind yourself that I am both with you and within you. I'm in your consciousness. I don't like it when we're all feeling sad and depressed. Make me feel that way. You know what living vicariously is? Oh my God, imagine if you had to live vicariously with every single person on the planet. How insane it has to feel. I'm so glad it's happening to me, not you guys. You would not want this happening to you. But I want you to look at that. And when you look at these images here, these are all images I took, all right? They're not fake. are real. Happened on Easter. It follows me around everywhere I go because of who I am. I am with you at all times, encouraging and supportive rather than condemning. Okay? Encouraging and supportive rather than condemning. Everybody has it backwards. Everybody has it wrong. They think I'm condemning them for all their mistakes. No, you're supposed to make mistakes. That's how you learn. You're supposed to be afflicted. You're supposed to have tribulation. That's what makes you strong and tough. That's how you overcome obstacles. When there's no instructions on how to do something, you're going to already be prepared to be able to put stuff together without instructions. I am with you at all times, encouraging and supportive rather than condemning. I know that deep within you, where I live, my peace is in continual experience. Okay? So my peace is in you continually. You just got to go slow down and experience it. All right? So slow down your pace of living for a time, quiet your mind in my presence, and then you will be able to hear me bestowing the resurrection blessing. Peace be with you. Okay? Trust me in the depths of your being. I am with you at all times, encouraging and supportive rather than condemning. All right? Like a good father. You know, we see our children stumble sometimes. You would rather be supportive than condemning. You know, we're trying to grow here. I know that deep within you, where I live, my peace is continual. So you just got to slow down, find it. And when you do, you will be able to hear me bestowing resurrection blessings on you. Peace be with you. Okay, I got other activity going on here too. In between these readings here, a lot of you guys were over at Marf tonight. I've been talking about this code in the music, all right? And once you've learned the code, it'll drive you nuts. You'll hear it in every song. Ask a couple of people here that tried it and now wish probably they hadn't. Because this code is in all kinds of music. It's in all kinds of ads. It's all over the place. But tonight at Marfoogle, I know some people here from Marfoogle, and he does this little synthesizer jam session at the end, the shoutro, and he was playing the code. And he started off simple, played the whole code, and then had it like recorded on a little repeat button. So he just had the code playing in the background and started playing the same code over it with another thing. And he was writing real music. So not only am I teaching you spiritual, metaphysical, geophysical, astrophysical, I'm also going to teach you how to write music and how to write a masterpiece. Okay? And once you learn the code in the music, I know it's a disturbing code. It says something that's very disturbing, but once you grasp the concept, it's not disturbing. You will understand that actually lives within you, and that's your inner spiritual battle. But when you learn the code, and you've learned to hear it in the rock and roll music, boy, it's all over the place. Once you get a good ear for it, it will turn all your music brand new again. All your old favorites that you got tired of will be brand new again. And when Marf was using the code tonight, he was actually learning how to play music, and he was actually learning how to write music, and was writing real music and was making a little masterpiece, and it sounded appealing to the ear because it was written in the proper code. And we'll get into that code. You can ask some of the other people in the chat about it. but we're going to get into that another night. I just wanted to say, when you do learn that and you apply it, it brings joy, and all of a sudden you're writing your own music. You're like, hey, I was never a music artist. How did that happen? Okay, so I'm going forward in reverse now. So think when I say forward in reverse, imagine if we're doing like a life review, right? And you died on the 10th, right? So the first thing we're do is we're going to go in reverse to the 9th, but we're going to play the 9th forward in time. So you get to see the 9th from the moment you got up to the moment you went to sleep. You experience it forward as we walk backwards to your birth through time, going forward in reverse. Do you understand that concept? It's playing forward. It's not like you're going when we're doing your life review. It'll be your day going forward in time, how you interacted with people, how you blessed other people's day. The smile. Yeah. A smile. Today, I was having a rough day, and I always try to smile at people because I know it can turn somebody's day around. Just the mere smile from somebody else, tell me if I'm lying or not. You've had a rough day, and somebody in the grocery store or somebody at the gas station said something cool, made you smile, and brightened up your day or took you out of that funk. All right? So that smile is, changing people's day too. So it's important that we try to be upbeat for each other, because you never know when you're going to turn somebody's day around. And that's what we're in the business of, is salvage, right? Turning the day around. You're having a bad day and making it better. Turning the day around, salvaging it. We're salvaging other people's days when we smile at them. Okay? Or just a brief, joyful interaction. Hi, how you doing today? Oh, that's a cute dress you're wearing there. Just something, nicer, pleasant. All right. Can go miles, and you can really save somebody's day, because I try to practice that myself. And today I needed it from somebody else. I didn't know I needed it, but the moment somebody did that and finally smiled at me, I was like, oh, okay, I feel better now. Thank you. That's all it took. One person smiling at me. Over it. Moved on. Now, back to reading here. When we're thinking about that, I want you to look for me in the hard places of your life. It's easy to find me in answered prayer and in the beauty and heartfelt joy, but I am also tenderly present in your difficulties. In fact, your problems are fertile soil for growing in grace and encountering my loving presence in greater depth and breadth. Your problems are fertile soil for growing in grace, encountering my loving presence with greater depth and breadth. So search for me in your dark times, both past and present. Important stuff right here, okay, you guys? You need to search for me in both the past and the present. If you're plagued by painful memories and hurtful past experiences, look at me. Look at me. I know you are. If you're plagued by painful memories and hurtful past experiences, look for me in them. Go back, and instead of your painful memories, go back to them and look for me in them. I was there. I saw it all. So, knowing that there's no condemnation, well, they shouldn't plague you or be painful anymore or hurtful experiences. They were growth opportunities. Oh, shit. All that stuff was growth opportunities? And I've been tripping over all that this whole time? And they were growth opportunities the whole time. Wow, go figure. So that's why it's important. You search for me in your dark times, both past and present. Let's go do some step work. Okay? Go back into your past. What was it? What was the painful memory, the hurtful experience? And then during that, what happened to you? That's where you look for me, where I was there. I was playing a part. I was teaching you a lesson back then. And I know all about them, and I am ready to meet you there. So invite me into those broken places and cooperate with me in putting the fragments back together in new ways. You have a new perspective on your old problems now. They weren't problems, they were growth opportunities. Those difficulties were challenges, and you overcame them. And you are here right now looking at me, listening to me. And how many difficulties have you overcome? Tons of them. Now I want you guys to go back to your past, because I know not everybody, but if you're plagued by painful memories, something that you did, okay, that you're embarrassed of, you have to forgive yourself sometimes, and hurtful past experiences. I'm talking about, molestation, rape, all kinds of abuse, all right? So if you're plagued by those memories and hurtful past experiences, look for me in them. When you do, you will feel a load of weight come off your shoulders. That backpack full of rocks is going to feel like one or two pebbles now. Because when you do that, look, I already know all about them. And I'm ready to meet you there, even if it's in the past. Any point in your life, I can meet you there. So invite me into your broken places and cooperate with me in putting the fragments back together in new ways. These growth ways. All of a sudden you're a spiritual warrior who has a bunch of notches in your belt, huh? Oh, I thought that was all just difficulties, and God didn't love me and I was having a rough life. No. We're making warriors here. We're putting notches in your belt, okay? So if you're walking through tough times in the present, remember to cling to my hand. Against the dark backdrop of adversity, the light of my presence shines in transcendent radiance. Okay, that's the black and white that we see the bisymmetry, not bipolar, but bihemisphere brain, two hemisphere brain. Okay, there's positive and negative. So again, I want this to seep into you guys tonight. If you're plagued by painful memories and your hurtful past experiences, look for me in them. I was there, okay? I love you. You might think that it was hate, or it was mean, but you're here. You grew from it. You're tough. I'm trying to make some tough guys, not a pack of... All right, never mind. I am also tenderly present in your difficulties. Okay? If you're walking through tough times in the present, cling to my hand. Against the dark backdrop of adversity, the light of my presence shines in transcendent radiance. Let this light bless you abundantly, providing both comfort and guidance. I will show you the way forward, step by step. As you walk close to me, I will draw you into deeper, richer intimacy with me. I am the gate. Whoever enters through me will be saved. I am not a locked barrier, but an open door for you, for all of my chosen followers. I came into this world so that you might have life and have it to the full. A full life means different things for different people. So, in your quest to live abundantly, don't compare your circumstances with those of others. Do you hear me? If you want to live a life abundantly, don't compare your circumstances with those of others. You don't need as much money or as many luxury items as your neighbor in order to live well. Godliness with contentment is great gain. I want you to be satisfied with my provision for you. If you have food and clothing, the basic necessities of life, seek to be content with that. If I give you more, respond with joy and thanksgiving. But don't cling to what you have or covet things that you do not have. All right? Coveting things you do not have. All those Lamborghinis and all those Porsche. Oh man, I wish I had that. I wish I had that. Quit coveting that stuff. Be thankful that you have a car, that you have wheels. And if you don't have wheels, be thankful you don't have 2 shattered hips. Okay? And if you're walking with 2 shattered hips, be thankful that you got both legs. All right. If you have food and clothing, the basic necessities of life, seek to be content. I give you more. Respond with joy and thankfulness, but don't cling to what you have or what you don't have and what others do. So the only thing you can cling to without harming your soul is me. Okay? That is the one thing you can cling to, is me. Here. Cling to that right there. Go ahead. Grab a hold of it. Give it a big fat hug. Lock your arms around it and put a padlock on your hands so you can't unlock from that hug. All right? I am the gate, and whoever enters through me will be saved. Okay, now, treasure me above all else. Now this, when you treasure me above all else, it's not for my ego, to stroke my ego. Oh, treasure me, treasure me. No. Treasure me above all else, and it will make you feel good. This will infuse joy into your heart and mind. Okay? This will give relief. When you see what's going on around in the world, treasure me above all else, and this will infuse joy into your heart and into your mind. It will also glorify me. So, to treasure something is to hold or keep it, esteeming it as precious. Okay, that's why our precious family, okay? To treasure something is to hold or keep it, esteeming it as precious. I am training you to hold securely onto me, your Savior God and constant companion, knowing that I never leave your side, can increase your joy and peace. Okay? Knowing that I never leave your side can increase your joy and peace. That's why when you treasure me, it increases your joy. It increases your peace. Also, esteeming me as your precious Savior strengthens your desire to keep me in your sights. A live, well, let's try again here. Okay, when you understand that I'm your Savior, it strengthens your desire to keep me in your sights and live according to my will. Now you're actually living. I'm in your sights. You are caught up with me in the clouds. I'm in your sights, and now you are living according to my will. And when you do that, it strengthens you, doesn't it? Doesn't this stuff strengthen you when I tell you this and you see this and you grasp the concept? You got to grasp these concepts because they're concepts, and when you grasp them, they work. When you prize me above all else, other things lose their grip on you. I repeat, when you prize me above anything else, all things lose their grip on you. If something got a grip on you and you don't want it squeezing down, I can relieve that. Okay? I had one way to discern what you hold dearest is to examine your thoughts when your mind is at rest. Okay, so one way to discern what you hold dear is examine your thoughts when you're at rest. If you don't like what you find, do not despair. You can teach yourself to think about me more consistently. It's helpful to memorize scripture, especially verses that draw you closer to me. Pick out your favorite verses, the ones that make you feel loved and reassured. Pick those out. It's helpful to memorize scriptures, especially verses that draw you closer to me. Try putting reminders of my loving presence throughout your home and workplace. And remember to seek the help of my spirit, because he delights in pointing you back to me. When you seek help from your spirit within, I delight because it's pointing you back to me. I want you to know the depth and breadth of my love that surpasses knowledge. There is an enormous difference between knowing me and knowing about me, isn't there? There's a big difference between believing in God and believing God and believing what he says. Oh, I believe there's a book called the Bible, right? Everybody can believe that there's a book called the Bible. So believing in the Bible, well, do you believe what's in the Bible, what the Bible teaches, what it says? Do you believe the Bible? Do you believe God, not just in him, but do you believe him? There's a big, big, big difference there. There's an enormous difference between knowing me and knowing about me. Similarly, experiencing my loving presence is vastly different from knowing facts about my character, isn't it? When we're sitting here doing these parts right here, you're experiencing my loving presence. Isn't it vastly different from knowing the facts or, knowing what you've heard in the Bible? To experience my presence, you need the empowering work of my spirit. Ask my spirit to strengthen you with power in your inner being so that you can know my love in full measure. So you can, know my love in full measure. Okay, to experience my presence, you need the empowering work of the Holy Spirit. Ask the Holy Spirit to strengthen you with power in your inner being so that you can know my love in full measure. Okay, since the moment of your salvation, I have been alive in your heart. The more room you make for me there, the more I can fill you with my love. Okay? See me filling you with love right here? The more room you make, the more I fill you with love. And it's all about however much room you want to make for me. Okay? You control that part. So, to experience my presence, the empowering work of the Spirit, I've been alive in your heart. So the more room you make for me there, the more I fill you with my love. There are several ways to expand this space in your heart. It's crucial to take time with me, enjoying my presence, and studying my word. It is also vital to stay in communication with me. As the Apostle Paul wrote, pray continually. This joyful practice will keep you close to me. It's gonna sound weird, but when you pray continually, it's almost like talking to yourself. Because I'm in you and you're talking to me, so you're kind of talking to yourself, but I hear you when you do that. So this joyful practice keeps you close to me. It keeps you in communication with me. That's how you pray continually. It kind of, well, when you're talking to yourself, or you're like an invisible friend sitting next to you in the room. You used to have when you were a kid, you used to have an invisible friend, didn't you? Well, it's very similar like that. There is a presence sitting right next to you. You might as well talk to it. Okay? Even though nobody sees you and it looks like you're talking to yourself, which you are because I'm in you, you still are talking to me. So that's how you pray continually. This joyful practice will keep you close to me. And finally, let my love flow through you to others in both your words and your actions, like your smiles. Okay? Your words and your smiles. Okay? That's how you let my love flow through you to others. Go out there, salvage somebody's day. And if you're having a bad day, maybe the person that's out there doing the same thing, your path will cross with them and they will smile at you and make your day, and you will go forward and pay it forward. Won't you? If somebody did that to you, wouldn't you pay it forward that same day? Well, shit, I'm happy now. I think I'm going to make the next person smile. That just made my day. I'm thinking I'm going to go make somebody else's day now. First person I encounter that looks like they're feeling down, I'm going to give them a big fat smile and say, hey, you're actually doing an awesome job today. Regardless of what job they work at Burger King, they work somewhere, just tell them. Even if they're doing a terrible job, tell them, you're doing fabulous today. It eases their mind. It reverses their day. We are in the salvage business. I want you to repeat, we are in the salvage business. When you're having problems during your day, think of that in the back of your mind. You are in the salvage business. We are rescuing each day, each moment at a time. And when you see other people along their path having a bad day, throw them a smile, help lift them up too. We're lifting each other up here. Do you hear me? We are lifting each other up here. If we don't do that, we don't stand a chance. We have to lift each other up. And I am going to take you all the way to the top. I wanted to go on the other page. Depth, we did the depth, we did the breadth, we did the salvation, we pray continually, memorize scriptures, putting reminders out, where was it? Dang it, what was that other note? Increasing your joy, knowing that I never leave your side increases your joy and your peace. So know it. Okay, and then what was the other knowing I had? It's crucial you take time with me, enjoying my presence and studying my word. It's vital to stay in communication with me, like praying continually. This joyful practice keeps you close to me, and finally, the love flows through you into others in both your words and your actions. And this makes my love in you complete. So when you do that, when you make somebody else's day, that makes my love in you complete, doesn't it? When my love shined through you and you smiled at somebody and it made their day, that made my love in you complete. That's where it was. Okay. I got crazy notes. Right here, I got this one too. There is peace and fullness of joy in my loving presence. So look for me as you go through each day. I am eager to be found by you. Okay? I'm eager to be found by you because it helps you. All right? You find me, it sure helps you, doesn't it? Okay. I am eager to be found by you. I never lose sight of you. I watch over you continually. However, there are many ways you can lose sight of me. Most of these are just temporary distractions, which are all over this world. The remedy, though, the remedy is simple. Remind yourself that I am now here with you, and I am inside you now too. Okay, so when you're distracted and the stuff going on around the world's getting to you, the remedy is simple. Remind yourself that I am here with you and in you. A much more serious problem is forsaking your first love, me. If you realize this has happened, well, repent and run back to me. Confess the idols that have drawn you away from me. Confess the idols that have drawn you away from me. You need to start looking around at all the stuff that that you didn't know were idols in your life. When you're doing that step work, that step 4, it's like, oh my gosh, I never knew that watching, Fox News first thing in the morning, I had made that an idol in my life. I didn't know that whatever draws your attention away from me, that you focus so hard on that it makes you upset, that's become an idol. Okay? And you're going to be fascinated when you look at your life and how many things you have turned into an idol. You're going to go, oh my God, no wonder why I'm here on this earth. All right. But the more serious problem is forsaking your first love or hating me. Why would you hate somebody who loves you so dearly? Okay. If that's your problem, you got a serious problem, buddy. And if you realize that has happened, it's not too late. If you hate me, it's not too late. You can repent. You can run back to me. You can say, I'm sorry. I didn't realize I love you. You confess the idols that have drawn you away from me, and then take some time to receive my forgiveness with thanksgiving. Okay? It doesn't instantly happen. Take a little time to receive this show, my word, these images. Take some time to receive my forgiveness and receive it with thanksgiving. When you collaborate with me in rearranging your priorities, making me first in your life, as you spend time in my presence thinking about who I am, the King of the universe, the light of the world, you get to bask in this light of life so that you can reflect me to others. And while you are delighting in me, I fill you up with love, joy, and peace, and a little bit of courage along the way, don't I? All right, I think that was it for tonight. We did that before. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of go over this stuff one more time here, because I know you guys' hearts. I hear it, feel it. Look for me in the hard places. Your problems are fertile soil for encountering my loving presence. In dark times, both past and present. If you are in dark times in the present right now, search for me in those. If you have issues from your past, and I know a couple of you guys, and gals, and don't let that stuff dig at you. Give it up. Let it go. Of both past and present plagues. If you're plagued by painful memories and hurtful past experiences, I had PTSD so bad. Oh my, so a living nightmare. All right, you wish you were dead because you're actually half alive and you're enduring it. And I have some very painful memories, and I have some hurtful shit. Mine are more than hurtful. Mine are excruciatingly painful past experiences. But I was able to let them go. You have to let that stuff go. If you are plagued by painful memories and hurtful past experiences, look for me in them. I know all about them, and I'm ready to meet you there. Invite me into your broken places and cooperate with me in putting the fragments back together, but in new ways. You look at your fragments as they were all growth experiences. They weren't fragments. These are brand new bricks from which to build something now. So when you look at those broken places, they're not really broken. They're magnificent structures that you built because you overcame it. So if you look at those as broken places, you better search. And if you're plagued by them painful memories, go search them out. And then look for me in them. The moment you see that, you will feel a relief inside of you. Okay? And then you can feel free to move forward. Okay? And if you had troubles and issues with Jesus before, and you hated religion, and you hated the Catholic Church and all these things in seminary and blah, 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 well, that's okay. But it still doesn't change the fact that I love you, does it? So all that other stuff was just all distractions. When you really find out that you put your trust in me, you find a new life, miracles happen. The more you trust me, the more peace and relief and joy. You will see life in a different perspective. And when you see life in that new perspective, that's the proper perspective. You've been living in fantasy land this whole time. Okay, so when you make it to that new perspective and you're able to live one foot in the spiritual realm, one foot in the physical, and move about and bring joy to others, you're working through me, with me, you find joy in your life. Real joy, not, what money can buy and then gets old the next day. Mine is brand new every day, every moment. Okay, so important stuff for you guys tonight. Watch the weather. Okay, even though it's showing certain areas, highlighting this area for severe weather, pay attention yourself and just be aware, because this stuff is increasing. All right. And if you thought it was HAARP that was doing it, somebody else is in control of the weather, really. All right. I love you all. God bless you all. I miss you all. And until my next show, I will be back. I am already back. Can't you tell? If you can't, give it a try. Got nothing to lose and everything to gain. All right? Like rooting for the good guys instead of the bad team. You got everything to win and nothing to lose. Okay? Everything to gain and nothing to lose. It's a win-win here. And when you share this, you're blessed as well as the person who received it. Okay? That's it for tonight. I love you all. I miss you all. God bless you all. But until my next show, I will be back. I'm already back. Can't you tell? Bye.